Hello everyone, welcome to the Red Men TV. It is just under 2 minutes until this fantastic live stream is going to be in your eyes and in your ears. And I promise you, because all the content we do is really good, that it is going to be absolutely worth the wait. We are just now checking our microphone levels, making sure the internet's okay and it's not going to go kapoom on us at any point. We've got the new compressors for the audio, so we're not spiking and not hurting your ears. In the meantime, you can of course check out this incredible piece of Red Men TV merch that we designed. I think you'll agree it's absolutely brilliant. Obviously I recorded this ages ago, so it could be literally anything, but I'm sure it's absolutely fantastic. And of course, don't forget as well, we've got our own streaming platform, that is Red Men Plus. Red Men Plus is the home of Red Men TV and has absolutely everything we do there, from in-depth documentary series to more relaxed podcast stuff like we do on the main channel on YouTube. So yeah, it's not going to be long now. It's around about 50 seconds. At this point, peek behind the curtain, what is normally happening is we're all panicking. I normally need a piss, to be quite honest with you at this point, and then have to run off. And Tom's normally sat in the room going, what's he doing? I've got no idea. Where's he gone? And it's always for a wee, because I've got a really small bladder and I can only last about 40 minutes normally, which is hell when you go and watch a Liverpool game, because they're 45 minutes off, especially when you've had a pint. But it is what it is, and we live where we live, and we've got to deal with what we've got to deal with. And I promise you that this content is coming up in less than 11 seconds time. And yeah, it's 9, it's 8, it's 7, it's 6, it's 5, it's 4, it's 3, it's 2, it's 1, it's your content!
Hello everyone and welcome to the Red Men TV. Yes, it's the uncensored match build-up from Manchester City versus Liverpool, 12:30 at the Etihad, Amesty Hall. This is Dan Club, and over at the board we've got Mr. Chris Pajak. We're going to have a little chat about what Jurgen might do as his team is set to be announced in about 14 minutes time. I will head over to Chris very shortly to get his thoughts on what he thinks the gaffer might indeed do. We're hearing a couple of rumours already involving the likes of Diogo Jota. You heard one about Arthur Melo.
Yeah, Arthur Melo, I think he's going to start. I think he's in line to start the game.
So we'll keep an eye on all of that. We do know that a couple of people out injured. Let's find out who is available from Jurgen Klopp, who spoke at his press conference yesterday.
So, starting with Lewis. Lewis is back in small parts of training after a very long time out. It's really fantastic to have him back. Such an energizer, such a boost for everybody having him around. But he will not train today with us. He is already outside running. So this week was the first step back into team training. Parts of it. Next week I think we will increase that, maybe full parts team training, and then he is ready, I think. But we said we have to judge him every day how he dealt with the intensity. So that's what we have to see. But it looks really promising, really promising. So I think we are really final stages of him being back. Darwin couldn't train for 2-3 days this week still because of the cut he got against Real Madrid on his foot, but was yesterday then back in full training. So yeah, he's definitely in contention. So Naby is out. He came back with a muscle injury from the national team. We will see how long it takes, but obviously the season is not too long anymore. There's a chance, obviously, that Naby comes back, but we have to wait a little bit. Thiago is in a good way, but was not part of team training yet. I think if things go well, he will probably be part of next week's team training part. Means that's overseeable when he's back. I don't think.
Joe Gomez fully up to speed.
Yes, Joe is fully back. Reece Williams has a little bit of something. I think pretty much the rest is available. So they come all back. We had little was it stomach bugs here and there? Is that the right saying? Yeah. So, but stopped 2 days ago, so she'll be all right.
Right, then there we go. No Luis Diaz, no Thiago, no Naby Keita. Shock, horror. Like I say, Liverpool's team news will be announced in about, less than 10 minutes or so's time. As it stands here at Redmond, we've been told that Jota's playing, and Dan's had information that Arthur Melo starts his first ever Liverpool game. So, Chris, with that being said, let's take us through what you think Liverpool's 11 might be.
Yeah, it makes it difficult, really, doesn't it? I think, you know, obviously, without Melo starting in this one, is it going to be a 4-3-3, or are we going to see something like a Fabinho and a double pivot with maybe somebody else there? It could be a Harvey Elliott or something. I can't do it, lads. I'm so sorry, I can't do it. It's ridiculous. There's no fucking chance of starting that.
Nutmegs. Did you see his nutmegs on Ben Doak this week?
He megged Ben Doak and saying he was
I'm sorry. You were so fucking brilliant at it, but I just can't lie. I'm fucking shit at it. So, no, it's an April Fool's joke. And I'm doing it. Oh, I'm really sorry. I think it's probably... Look, there is some really interesting conversation around this starting 11, isn't there? I mean, is he going to go 4-3-3? We've seen him go 4-4-2 as well. We've seen him go 4-2-4 recently against Manchester City. And I think, you know, the defence and the goalkeeper probably Canate over everybody else. Van Dijk, Robertson, Trent, they kind of picked themselves. I think Fabinho's got to start. That leaves you the midfield. Now, the sort of right-hand side, knowing that Manchester City tend to target Trent Alexander-Arnold, that's where I'm thinking, is Harvey Elliott the right person to play in a midfield three? And there's question marks over that. But what options have you actually got? I mean, genuinely, James Milner, you know, we know that Klopp, and I don't think there'll be a lot of people screaming at the televisions or the devices or whatever you're watching it on right now. But Jurgen Klopp does tend to start James Milner after international breaks because he's been there throughout them. Like, it would be a massive call to play James Milner in this game, but a call that I'm not sure that Jurgen wouldn't be proud of or be able to do. Like, does that make that right-hand side a little bit more sort of difficult to play through? Yes. Does it mean it probably a little bit more difficult for Liverpool to get the ball down the other end of the field? Yes, probably. But then, you know, what we've also seen recently is maybe a double pivot there, and then let's bring in Bobby Firmino, because it is likely that Nunes is going to miss this one. Could you play a Bobby Firmino, Gakpo, Salah, Jota as a sort of front four, and, you know, one of these lads is then tasked with sort of getting back here and making it maybe a bit of a 4-5-1 out of possession, something like that. That's a possibility, isn't it? And then straight into the sort of 4-4-2, 4-2-4 sort of formation, which we have seen against Man City in the past. If you're going to play a 4-2-3-1, could it be someone like a Gakpo in there, a Bobby Firmino up front? We've seen him drop deep in the past and be able to drive on the ball, circa Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain 2017-18 against Manchester City. Could it be Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, or are we too far gone past that now? Because Jota drop in there and maybe play a Gakpo sort of on the left-hand side. I'll be honest with you, I've got no idea what Jurgen Klopp is going to do. Lads, have you got anything for me here? A little bit of guidance as to what you think Jurgen might do?
Definitely. But first of all, we got JMG. We got, who else did we get? We had Sean. We got Toby. Who all fell for it a little bit as well for the April Fools, yeah. I genuinely thought it was April 1st. Yeah. And shout out to Stevie G, one of our members as well, using a member chat. I've got a good feeling today, 2-1, Jota and Darwin. I think personally, if Jota's playing, I wouldn't be shocked if it's the front forward. And if it is Nunes, we don't know. Nunes has trained, he had this cuff foot and he missed a few days. But he did train fully, Jurgen said he's in contention. If it is Jota, he might just be going front four, because we're hearing, obviously, no Haaland for Manchester City. Their front three, according to Sam Lee, the Athletic, is Alvarez, Grealish, Mahrez. So there's not tons of pace that you're absolutely worried about on the counter. That's three really good players. Yeah. But, you know, it isn't the electric pace that you're worried about. So it could be, Jurgen might be going, you know what, we've done it before at City. I'm playing all four of them and I'm going at them.
There's a few reasons I'd go for the 4-2-3-1 in this one and go for them four forwards. And it's because I think we need to go and fight 5-5 a little bit against Man City. And it's also because, well, we've done it before at City. I think at the first time Klopp did it from the start was actually at the Etihad. So it wouldn't surprise me too much. But also it's the lack of midfield options we have. Like, Chris referenced it there. You go in Harvey Elliott. Now, I really like Harvey Elliott, but he's such an attacking option anyway. Are you really sort of detrimental to your side that much if you go Firmino instead in that role and he can do the work?
Sorry to interrupt you. someone who I know quite well has texted me the team 6 minutes early. This is unofficial, so don't kill us if it is not right. Arthur Melo starts.
Yeah.
No, it's Elliott and it's Salah, Gakpo, Jota.
So it's a 4-3-3.
So it's a 4-3-3. Now it depends what he does with Jota. Is Jota playing left or is Gakpo? We're hearing Liverpool's team again. We'll confirm it shortly. Is Trent, Konate, Verge, Robbo, Fab, Elliott, Hendo, Salah, Gakpo, and Jota with Darwin Nunez only fit enough to go on the bench. Chris, with that being said, then the only question really in that side is who's up front and who's left wing, because Jota and Gakpo can do both. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, interestingly, listen, I'm gonna say that doesn't rule out the 4-2-4, because we've actually seen Elliott play as part of a front four against Manchester City, and what we saw actually was Salah partnered with, I can't remember who it was. I don't think it was Mane, but there was somebody else. It might have just been Bobby Firmino. I can't remember exactly, but it actually doesn't rule out that. And what Harvey Elliott's got going for him there is he's got that ability to get up and down. He doesn't have the pace of Salah, but he's probably a little bit defensively more astute than Mo. And it also gives you the option of rolling back round into a sort of 4-3-3 formation if you want. If you're more comfortable in defending in a 4-3-3, but you want to attack in a 4-4-2, it's actually quite an easy transition. It's one we covered on the deep dive this week. So yeah, I think that's an interesting little thing. I don't say it rules it out, certainly, but it makes it more obvious, I think, that you're probably going to go into a 4-3-3 formation. It's the 11 lads, bar Arta, that I had on the board before this started. I swapped out Elliott for Arta. I had Jota on the left-hand side because I like Gakpo and what he's been able to do in that false nine. And we know that over the years, Manchester City have sort of struggled with Bobby Firmino and Mo Salah, and mainly because of Bobby Firmino playing that false nine position. So it's a position that works well. And I think one of the other things is why I don't think it will be a 4-2-4 nowadays is what we've tended to do against Manchester City is we've tended to crowd the middle of the field and made sure it's difficult to build up through Rodri and Gundogan and whoever else they're playing in the centre. And we've asked them to go wide down each side. Now, I think if you do play two midfielders in the centre, it opens up really easy passing lanes through the middle of the pitch for Manchester City, and that's where they're at their best. That's where their best player is. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne will pop up anywhere, but here is where he's at his most dangerous. He tends to come over from this position and sort of doubles up on Trent Alexander-Arnold with players. I expect to see that at times today, and quite often you'll get Gundogan making the late run into the box after Kevin De Bruyne, and maybe it'll be Grealish. It's normally Phil Foden have attacked Trent Alexander-Arnold. So I expect it to be a midfield three because I don't think Liverpool want Manchester City to play through the middle. And the other thing is I think that works really well against Manchester City is the quick transition. We saw it with Mo's goal. It was Alisson Becker. It was one long ball. It was Mo Salah, quick turn, on at the goalkeeper, 1-0, finished 1-0. And if you can be resolute and you can attack them on the transition, but you can make it difficult for them so it's slow and a little bit pedestrian from Manchester City, which we saw first half against Arsenal when they played them a few weeks ago. Pep doesn't like that, and they weren't as on it as they've normally been over the last few years. So if you can frustrate them, there is options on the counter-attack, and with Gakpo, Jota and Salah and their pace, you should be able to still get at Manchester City.
Yeah, fingers crossed that all works. I've got a couple more, by the way. We got Steve Radler, and he went, I fell for the Arthur one. I was about to include one, tackles made bet. So Chris did you a favour by starting to laugh, and then we had the super chat from Toby there. He said, you've mellowed my vibe. Listen, nice. A good, another good pun. Your name's a pun and you're constantly full of puns. There's a theory around Jota, Dan. I think it's one we're all agreeing to. Obviously, he's been nowhere near his best. Like, he hasn't scored, I think, since he played City last year. It's been a long time, almost a year now without a Diogo Jota goal. Granted, a lot of injuries. Yeah. But he has had some success against City before. And with Chris, I think it makes most sense to keep Gakpo front, keep him getting comfortable there. But I suppose by playing Jota on the left, what you're doing is you could be saying you get an hour and Darwin gets the last 30. We're not quite sure enough. If you mess it around, but by the time you do bring Darwin on, you're making two subs, because if Gakpo's on the left but he's coming on for Jota, you're doing another switcheroo. So it does feel like Jota's just doing a little bit of a dog's body. He can play left wing. I think he'd rather play up front, but he's going to be asked to do a job. What interests me on that, just to move on, is that it's Mahrez and it's on their right hand side and Grealish on their left. I wonder, because I mentioned before, but that isn't express pace, it's extreme trickery. That actually makes it easier for Jota and Salah to defend that. I think it's easier for them to just get back and be in the way of someone who wants to beat you rather than just the legging up and down the pitch kind of thing. So I can see the advantages of Jota there, but also like I say, mate, ultimately he's a Liverpool forward who hasn't scored for a year.
Well, exactly. His form's just not there, is it? And the one thing I've said it before, his main currency when it comes to football is goals, and just haven't been there whatsoever, have they, this season or even before that? For me, it's a fascinating one who plays left at him and Gakpo, because I actually really like Gakpo through the middle. I've said it a few times. I think he is sort of the heir to Firmino's throne in that sense. But it feels like Jota would rather be central, and Gakpo's played a lot of football from the left. So there is an argument to switch them two and kind of go with that, and just let Jota just sort of be that predator, be that fox that he can be that nuisance. But on the point about defending, I've got no issue in terms of them two wanting to get back and helping out Salah or Jota or Gakpo if it is him from the left. I've got no problems there. And I think you're right. I think the not offering of extreme pace would actually do us a favour in that sense. And I wanted to ask you something, Chris, and something we never really speak about. I know the team's about to come out, but we all kind of complain and sort of bemoan Trent Alexander-Arnold's defending. Is there ever a case for swapping Verge over and helping him out on this side? I know it's a bit mad, but we never talk about it. He's the best defender in the world on his day, and we just keep him over there with Robbo, who's a better defender.
Look, listen, I've never thought about it, so this is brand new to me, because you're absolutely spot on. Yeah. Nobody ever talks about it. Maybe Virgil's just doesn't want to do it. Yeah. I mean, that can maybe be the only thing. I'm hearing that the team should probably be out, but I haven't got it yet.
I've got it, so I'll go through it. I'll bring it up on the screen now. And I'll let Chris get his bench ready. So there we go. It's the team that we all thought it was going to be, really. It's Alexander-Arnold, Konate, Van Dijk, Robbo, Fab, Hendo, Elliott, Jota, Salah, Gakpo, and then a bench. You ready, Chris? You want to see if you've got this right? Well, I'll read them out for you. Yeah. Kelleher. Yeah. Gomez. Yeah. Milner. Yeah. Bobby. Yeah. Ox. Yeah. Costas. Yeah. Nunez. Yeah. Artemello. Yeah. Joel Matip.
So no Carvalho, no Phillips.
Oh, there you go.
No Curtis Jones.
No Curtis Jones. And there's our 9. Is that right? I've still got 10 on the board there. Is Chamberlain not in there?
Get rid of Diaz. You've got Diaz.
Oh, no Diaz. Damn it. That's a little bit disappointing in some regard, isn't it? I mean, I was just hoping that... I know, but I was just hoping that it was mind games. That's what I wanted. In much the same way that we all thought that Haaland being out was going to be mind games, I just wondered whether Diaz being there. And the interesting thing, we're going to pick up on something Dan just spoke about with Jota on the left, because I think the only thing I'd sort of add to what he'd said is, I wonder if Gakpo does that, is Jota able to do that? Is that his job? Because when he plays on that left-hand side, he tends to get into the box anyway. And it's not like straight down there. It is more of a come inside and see if you can get on the end of things. And I think sometimes it's easier for a defender to know, Jota's my man. He's playing up front there. Jota's my man. I know he wants to be in the box, but arriving from a different position could actually help Jota in this instance, because we know his natural inclination is to get into that box and is to try and get shots off and stuff. So yeah, and I'm not sure that the Gakpo being up front doesn't actually maybe help Jota in this instance. Well, I suppose.
Apologies to interrupt. I want to frame it this way. Man City are playing 4 centre backs. They're not playing any full back.
Ake left back.
And John Stones. So their team, just to let you know, it's Ederson in goal. It's a back 4 of Stones, Akanji, Diaz and Ake. A midfield 3 of Rodri, Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne. And then Mahrez, Grealish and Alvarez as a front 3. It isn't the strongest Manchester City side Liverpool have ever faced, but it's still certainly an excellent one in terms of quality. Erling Haaland doesn't even make the bench. His injury news was legit at teams. He isn't even involved in any way, shape or form. The 4 centre-backs thing, I mean, who's going to play? Is it Stones playing right back again?
Stones will be right back, yeah. Ake left back, yeah.
I mean, what that does show you, Chris, you know, you talk about Jota and Salah, maybe there's less defence. I mean, Ake can get forward and Stones will get forward, but they're not, it's not, you know,
it's not Kyle Walker.
It's not Kyle Walker bombing forwards or like a natural left back. You know, the Zinchenko's that we faced in the past or whatever for City, whatever else, they're not there as well. That is interesting, really, isn't it? That it's a very defensive back 4 for Manchester City. And then you've got like 2 sitters really in Rodri and Gundogan, and then it's that front 4 of De Bruyne, Mahrez, Grealish, and Alvarez as well. I think now like the Jota thing might make a little bit more sense, given that it's against 4 centre backs who are, you know, I don't think we're going to expect Manchester City to maybe push quite a high up, given that they haven't got Kyle Walker's pace to sweep things up. Is that fair to say?
I think so, yeah. I think you're probably right there. The only thing I would sort of say is that Nathan Ake's done really well against Mo in the past. He's come up against him in one-on-one sort of battles and does do quite well, obviously. So that is a little bit of something. Obviously, we've seen Nathan Ake score against us from a free kick, I think.
I agree with you, but in the Community Shield, Salah had him on toast. So there's been battles, but you are right in general play there has been. But I thought in that Community Shield, for example, Liverpool ran rings around him, and it was Trent and Salah doing all the damage.
I think the big thing for me is that Gundogan is not a sitter. Like, you know, I think everyone thinks because of the look of him and stuff that he's a sitter, but he gets into the fucking box more than any midfielder. He's the sort of tip of the spear sometimes from the midfield, isn't he? So yeah, you know what? This could if Jurgen is planning a 4-2-4, this could play into our hands a little bit, you know.
I'm optimistic having seen the teams, especially their flat back four of centre-halves, because I think you're right. They're going to get forward, but nowhere near in the way Kyle Walker or like an Angelino would in previous Man City teams. And I think if that front three of ours all falls, to Chris's point with Harvey Elliott getting involved as well, if that can be really interchangeable, it's fine for a centre-back to defend as a full-back when it's like 1v1, because they defend like that all the time. But when there's like moving parts around you, and 1 minute Salah's there, the next minute is Jota and Gakpo too, and maybe Elliott, I think that becomes really difficult as a full back. If you've got people moving on all the way around you, suddenly your natural instincts that you're used to when you play central and you've got somebody alongside you, that changes as a full back. So I think Jurgen Klopp will target their full backs as an area. I mean, you would anyway because you've got Mo Salah, of course you're going to, but especially now with them playing centre halves out there, I think I'd really target them and get loads of moving bodies in and around them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what Liverpool would hopefully like to do. And like I say, it's looking at midfield. I'll stick. We come back to you on that one, Chris. It's Gundogan, De Bruyne, and then Rodri, and we the one that we all thought it would be. The question mark on Harvey Elliott, please, is defensively, can he do the job that's required? The fact that he's not going to have, you know, we will have Nathan Ake, don't get me wrong, Nathan Ake can play left back, it's fine, but it isn't like the blister and pace stuff. But does that make Harvey Elliott's job a little bit easier from a defensive point of view on that right-hand side?
I think it probably does. I think you're probably right there, Steve. I think, you know, it's such an interesting one because I'm really surprised that Pep's gone what essentially looks like 4-3-3, normally throws a wrinkle in against the bigger sides, doesn't he? You know, we saw last time out against Arsenal, he started with Bernardo Silva essentially left back, and Bernardo was dropping into the midfield to make a box midfield and stuff like that. And that looks like, from the players that I can see out there for Manchester City, doesn't look like he's trying to get an overload in the middle. So I'm a little bit surprised at this. And I think Liverpool have done really well when we've kind of set up the same as Manchester City. I think their midfield three, in terms of passing, is probably a little bit better maybe than ours. And I think they've probably still got a slight advantage in the middle of the park. But certainly it takes away the, I'm not really mad scared about Trent Alexander-Arnold going up one-on-one with a Grealish with Harvey Elliott's help, and it could be that Konate is the help, and you know, maybe Fabinho has to drop in to watch that runner, if maybe it's Gundogan or Kevin De Bruyne. I imagine the overload now is going to come from Kevin De Bruyne picking a spot. Does he go over? Because I think Mahrez and Kevin De Bruyne are against, I know he's a better defender than Trent, Andy Robertson. Mahrez, I think, is a better player than Jack Grealish as well. I think that might be the side that they focus on.
Well, what they've done in the past, Chris, I think we'll come back to you on it, they've played Gabby Jesus on the right wing and just tried to go long ball over Robbo, and then got men round, and sometimes, you know, Mahrez can be dropping in or whatever it is. The fact that it is Mahrez and then Grealish on the other side, like I say, there isn't the express pace. You're not the long ball to those two doesn't really. Obviously, a long ball to feet is amazing. Like they used to send Gabby Jesus up to win a header and then try and knock down second balls.
It's tick attack of this, isn't it? They're looking to play through Liverpool by the looks of it at the moment.
Very technically gifted side.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right in saying that's what Liverpool have got to work to. That's where, suppose, Dan, if it's that type of game Chris mentioned before, it does feel like Manchester City are going to get the ball on the deck and play it.
Yeah.
Fabinho needs to be on it. Because they are what their game's going to be. They're going to be firing that ball into De Bruyne, trying to get it into the feet of those front three. That's where you need Henderson to an extent, but also like your DM to be all over it.
I was going to mention Henderson, and if anything, that plays into the hands of it being slightly more of a double pivot, doesn't it? And allowing Harvey Elliott, he's going to have to be busy as well, don't get me wrong, but allowing Elliott to be a bit more expressive further up the field, because I think you're right. I think you're going to need Henderson and Fabinho to be A, at their very best, and B, at their busiest, because they are going to have to be flies everywhere trying to cut out fires all over the place, because you're right. I think this City side is just quite naturally and quite simply a side that's going to get the ball down. And City teams generally look to do this. This is what Pep Guardiola wants, but without the physicality of Haaland and the pace of some others that they've had in previous teams, these are going to pass us to death.
Absolutely indeed. Right, in a moment, let us know as well, guys, if you're in the Discord or if you're in the YouTube chat. Going to get some score predictions now. We both know both 11s. Going to get Chris's prediction and Dan's as well. And you know what? I'll even throw mine in too. So while you have a think, and while you guys get your typing fingers ready to let us know what you're going to do, just a couple of quick messages. First of all, see the shirt that Dan's wearing? one of our Bobby Firmino shirts in honour of Bobby's final few games to Liverpool. We're going to miss him. We've done a payday weekend flash sale on redmenmerch.com. The link is redmenmerch.com. There's a QR code that's beneath Dan now. Both our Bobby Firmino shirts are 20% off. You want to go and get yourself one. A nice little treat for you, having been paid over the course of the weekend. Just put it into your basket and the discount will be applied straight away. So yeah, it's an absolute belt, that one. So is the top banana one. Also, we've put on sale our live show tickets. If you head to all of our socials, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or you just go to ticketquarter.co.uk, we are doing a live quiz night, but it's not just a quiz night. It's going to be Red Men mentalness, basically. Sing songs, games, lots and lots of fun. Chris Pajak doing loads and loads of funny dances like he often does. Fair enough?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I expect nothing less.
He's literally been doing one all show. He was walking down there before I've so I'll ask him if you want to come and get involved. It's the night before the Brentford game. So if you're in the city for the Brentford game and you're just looking for something to do the night before, it's us at Hotel Anfield. Again, check out all our socials or go to ticketquarter.co.uk. Just search for Red Men TV. Already the tickets are selling really, really quickly. They're going to probably sell out. So if you want to make sure you get one, go and get one soon. I know Steve Ryder, who's in the Discord, and Steve O'Hare are letting me know they've already got their tickets. Steve Ryder says no cheating for Chris, by the way.
Mav as well. Mav's
coming as well. Chris did cheat at the Blue and Popping game last time, so fair enough.
No, I didn't.
Got a reputation in our Discord, do you know?
I didn't cheat.
I think you're
I just stopped some others from winning. I was out.
I think you're hosting anyway. I don't think you're playing. So if that does you any favours.
I don't think that's open to bribes.
But yeah, bribes are accepted.
Pints be bribes.
Right, pints be bribes. Get the quizmaster drunk. Right then, with that being said, like I say, come and check. We're going to have a belt tonight, the night before the Brentford game, one way or the other. Right then, I've stalled a little bit long enough to get you all your predictions. I'll read some of your guys out first. Perry's gone for a 2-0. Banditry's gone for a 3-1. LFC on top has gone for a 3-1. So is Simon. Sean's gone for a 2-1. There's lots of confidence there. Kankai's gone for Liverpool 4, Man City 2. Hector has gone for 4-0 City. Boo you, Hector. Perry, who else is in there? Sorry, Rachel's gone for a 3-2 Liverpool win. An absolute barnstormer. Chris Page, I'll come to you first. You've seen both teams. What do you think?
Yeah, I've not been confident all week, and now that there's officially no Erling Braut Haaland in the side, and I've seen both sides, I'm starting to get a little bit of something. I don't know whether it's just because I need a wee or not, but I'm starting to think, like Rachel, I think it was the last comment, I think 3-2 to Liverpool in a mad game where James Milner's brought on in the 89th minute to see it out for Liverpool Football Club.
There we go. Pajak 3-2, absolute barnstormer. In the Discord, by the way, Miles, he's gone for 3-1. Steve Ryder's gone for 2-0. Steve O'Hare's gone for a 1-0 smash and grab. And MDSO's gone for a 2-1 as well. Lots of confidence flying around. I am going to stick with my original predictions. Sorry to be a bit of a damp squib. I think I went for 1-1. Boo! Well, mate, 1-0's a good result at the end. Boo! But I'm sticking with it. I hope I'm wrong if Liverpool win, but I think a draw 1-1. Dan?
Prior to this, I was 2-2, and I was thinking, because take the lead a couple of times. Yeah, I was, but now I've seen all the positivity in our chats, and from the team news, I'm going to go Liverpool 2-1. 2-1
to the Reds. You've heard it here first from Dan. If you've had a couple of predictions right before that horrendous Bournemouth game, which went absolute tits up. Don't even talk about Madrid as well. But before that, you were doing quite well on these. So yeah, that is our predictions. That is the team news. We'll be live for the watch along in about half an hour's time. Do come and join us. Like I say, go and get your Bobby shirts as well. You've got half an hour to do it. And just to let you guys know, if you're looking for something to watch between now and us going live, me and Chris, for the watch along, on our YouTube channel is the deep dive. Chris Page, I'll hand it over to you to tell us all about what you and Josh talked about in this Manchester City preview. It was just a preview for Liverpool-Manchester City. I think Josh is absolutely fucking superb. Like, so we covered some of the stuff that we've kind of loosely mentioned today, but it's so in-depth and detail. Like, it really is an absolute belter show. We put it out yesterday, 8 o'clock in the morning. So please go and watch that if you're looking for something to do. And let us know your feedback on it as well. Please leave us a comment and don't forget to like it if you do enjoy it. Yeah, so if you go to our YouTube channel now, it's called How Pep Creates Midfield Superiority, Manchester City versus Liverpool preview. Go and check it out, and then we'll be back in half an hour's time for the watch along. Make sure you're there with us. It's going to be an absolute barnstormer if Chris Pajak's prediction is about to come true. See yous in half an hour.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching that show. Did you know if you go over to redmenplus.com and sign up as a Club Legend subscriber, you will get access to our amazing Discord chat, 20% off merchandise, live tickets every year for free, plus all our incredible content, and you'll get absolutely everything right as it happens. So get over there and do it.